Hey guys, on this episode of Gaming and Collecting, me and Alex are talking about our recent trip to Retro World Expo, the 2024 edition of the con, talking about our adventures all 3 days of the convention this year, some of the games we bought, some of the stuff we saw, overall, just talking about the experience itself. But, anyways, guys, on to the intro music. So, how you been? Okay, she's dead. I guess I'm doing it on my own today.
No. Do you see her? Oh,
No,
do you
not
see?
really.
Wait, you don't? Right there.
Oh,
You
yeah, now I
didn't
do.
see it just roll over?
She's right behind your name text, so I can't really see her.
Oh, it's always flipped on my screen. It's always the opposite. Dang it. Uh,
Yeah.
what was your question?
How you been?
Oh, uh, when was the last? Did we record last week?
Yeah.
We did. Oh, Jesus.
Yes, we
Uh,
did.
I've been good. Miss Pooh discovered she has one of those tubes that she can run through, and she discovered it recently. She discovered, oh my god, I can run through it back and forward, back and forward, back and forward all day long. So every time I get home, oh, I feel like I already said this on the podcast. Oh well. Uh, every time I come home, it's in a new spot, which has been pretty funny. I gotta go. Did you see the video I sent you?
Yes.
Yes. She's being a goof, but it's so funny. Like I didn't realize like it's I got her in April. So it's been like May, June, July, August. So it's been like 4 months and like it's funny. Like looking back at the old photos of when I first got her to versus now. Like she's definitely opened up a lot, which is nice.
Nice.
You wanna
Yeah,
hear a funny story from this morning?
what happened?
Well, I had to go into work early today. So
I
I
noticed that because you were sending me reels like when I was awake, and I was like, "This is weird." I'm like, "She should not be awake this early."
well, I was yeah, I remember I was I was going to work to do training for some of the guys on our 12-hour second shifts. So they miss out on the training time, so I was doing a separate training just for them. But I had to go in early, so I woke up early and I basically pushed my schedule back an hour. So every morning I feed Miss Pooh, I feed her wet food, and then her dry food feeder goes off pretty quickly after. I kind of forgot that it's set to an hour later. So I come downstairs and I'm looking around for her after like doing my makeup, washing my face and getting ready for the day. I come downstairs, I check the window, she's not in there. I check around the living room, I'm like, where is she? She was sitting in front of the food dish the whole time, waiting for it to dispense her crunchies because she has a routine of, okay, I go and I eat my wet food, and then I go and I eat my dry food. So she sat there for like 45 minutes just waiting for nothing to happen.
Your your cat is a fat ass.
I love her. She freaking loves her food. It's a little concerning sometimes because she eats things that aren't food. But yeah, that was pretty funny. And then I felt guilty, so I had it automatic. I made it go off like manually, and then like literally 20 minutes later, the other food. So she got like a double portion.
You're just enabling her at this
I
point.
can't help. I felt bad. She sat there for 45 minutes. She doesn't know time. She doesn't know what time means. She just like
We know your
feels
cat is dumb. Like it's
like
just a
she
thing.
I'm not kidding when I joke about like there's a ping pong ball and it just goes bing bong, like and that's her brain. It's like boop, a little ping pong ball. I can hear it bouncing back and forward when she runs around. So
Yeah.
alright, enough of me talking. It's your turn.
Well,
Speak.
it's been a week. We're currently on shutdown for the company I work for, and yeah, it's been hectic as hell because it's like 24/7, like chickens with heads running off because no one knows
Mhm.
what the fuck. No one knows what the fuck's going on. Like everyone's trying to fix shit, and like it's just a fucking mess. And it's like
Yeah.
this is hot. We need it now. And it's like no, this is hot. Forget about that. Then 5 minutes later, they're like, why did you forget about this? And I'm just like, go the fuck away. You'll get it when you get it. Yeah, it's been crazy, but thankfully we have a long weekend coming up.
Thank God. I'm taking Friday off. Well, because I'm having people come in to fix my thermostat. Um, yeah. So I'm excited for the long weekend. I'm excited to get some sleep. And Mom and I are going to New York this weekend. I'm gonna go
Nice.
see the Lion King.
I'm getting my car fixed. Well, oil changed, but
Yes, you're changing your oil.
yeah. Oh, did you see My Sims Kingdom is coming to Switch?
I did. Well, I had seen that a little while ago, like rumors that My Sims was coming to Switch, and then I was a little butthurt because why isn't Tomodachi Life coming to Switch? Huh, Nintendo?
Well, it's simple. Nintendo doesn't like us, and EA, I guess, does today. So
Yeah, I am excited though. Excited to play My Sims Kingdom. I wonder if it will be like what version it will be.
it's gonna be well, it's obviously the Wii version. It's actually a bundle pack. It's the original My Sims and then Kingdom.
Ooh, I'm gonna play the shit out of that.
They're calling it the My Sims Cozy Collection. I'm just like, okay,
Wait,
neat.
when did they announce that? Because I knew I saw whisperings, but I didn't see like the actual.
So there was at the time of this recording. Well, at the time of when this episode comes out, it would have been weeks ago. But there was a Nintendo Direct yesterday.
Oh, so it was like from a legitimate source.
Yeah, then it was finally announced. Fun fact for people listening: at the time this comes out, it would have already happened, but there'll be a chat about it over on the Superpod network. So go check that out.
Mm. Oh, yep, My Sims Kingdom. It might say. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait for the old man king. Can't wait for him to be back. Oh yeah, and the little buddy guy. Oh, I'm excited about that. Yay!
Yeah,
My Sims.
I saw that and I was like, something Alex will really care about.
Yes, I wonder how they'll change up the controls. But oh no, this is bad that I'm already yawning. But I did wake up a lot earlier today, so that's probably why.
This is no different from any other podcast.
Shut up! I'm a tired human being, okay? It's hard for me on a weeknight.
And we record on the week and we record on the weeknights because she always complains about doing it on the weekends. So I can't win there. You done yet? Oh, all right. She muted herself, so I can't even unmute her.
I thought that you could unmute me.
No, I can't unmute you if you mute yourself. I can only mute you if I. Okay, I guess I'll just continue on without her.
No, you dumb bitch. Stop it.
Yeah. Other than that, though, nothing too crazy. Did you buy any manga since last time we talked? I can't remember.
No. I have a couple in my cart. Oh, but with my next Amazon order, but no, didn't buy any manga. Did you?
I did only because Barnes and Noble is a wonderful, wonderful place where they just put shit out like weeks in advance because they don't give a fuck. And the new issue volumes of Chainsaw Man and Sakamoto Days were already out, so I went and grabbed those.
Yoink, yoink.
Um,
Nice.
so yeah, I'll get around to reading those pretty soon. Yeah.
Podcast.
So because you're falling asleep, we should probably get right into our topic.
I'm sorry. I'm tired today. It's been a...
I'm not doing this again.
Everyone, please tell Bill to stop bullying me. Please post an anti-bullying campaign in the server and
You
tell
know that
Bill to
those
stop bullying me.
We
Bill
grew
is
up in
mean
that
to me.
age. We know those do nothing. All they do is cause
Bill
bullying to get worse. Let's
Bill
be
is
real.
mean to me, everyone, and
All
I'd
right.
like to get
If
a
I'm
new co-host. I'm
if I'm
gonna be
so mean
throwing
to you,
auditions.
all right. If I'm so mean to you, I'm gonna go change all the fucking so streaming passwords then.
No, no. For a second, I was thinking streaming as like you streaming. I was like, what would that do to me?
That took Alex a minute.
No,
She's like, no, he's gonna cut me
no.
off from my
I
anime
started
supply.
watching a new show and I'm really liking it, so I don't want to. So don't do that. I think it's only on Crunchyroll. Don't do that to me.
All right, then don't say I'm mean.
Well, just kidding.
Uh, well, anyways, guys, let's get into our topic for today's episode. We went to another convention.
Whoa, whoa. What
Um,
convention, Bill?
so we went to this year's our annual. We have one convention that seems to be the most annual one we go to these days, and that is we went to Retro World once again.
Retro World.
Retro World is just the thing I like about Retro World. And this is just something that unfortunately it can only last so long because eventually things get popular. But I like Retro World because it is a very chill convention. It's very relaxed. It isn't massively popular. Like it's a very local convention.
Mm.
And it's very niche, which I enjoy. It hasn't reached like that kind of Comic-Con level where like it kind of starts to get just downright unpleasant to go because there's so many fucking people there.
Yeah,
Especially with how people are these days.
I agree with you on that.
But yeah, so we went to Retro World. It was this previous weekend, so it was interestingly enough, this was the first year they've done 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You went
And
Friday.
I
I
did.
did
I
not go
actually.
Friday. I had to work.
So I'll kind of briefly just kind of give what the Friday vibe was like because I'm not gonna lie, like we talked about it after. Friday was kind of unnecessary for this convention. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. It was cool, like to try, but like it really caused kind of like the thing about Retro World is it is a very merch like vendor heavy convention. Like the whole kind of thing with Retro World is it's a giant collecting like swap meet essentially, like vendor floor. The problem is when you go from 2 days to 3 days and you're someone who wants to go to all 3 days of said event,
Mhm.
it is very easy to blow all of your money on like the Friday, like the start of the convention.
As you did. No, just
Well,
kidding.
no, I didn't, but I came close. I had to stop myself.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say just now, like probably should go back to 2 days. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they listen to this. Just that's just my suggestion. I don't know if the Friday really helped them like money wise. If it did, I mean, hell, I might not go Friday next year.
Mm.
But that being said, Friday was pretty interesting. I showed up, so it started at 2 in the afternoon, so kind of late in the day. Um, and I get there, and it was kind of funny. I parked in the parking garage, fairly empty. I
Mhm.
was on like the first floor. Like we actually parked in the same exact spot every day because it's such a chill convention. You show up right around the opening time, and like you're not gonna have a problem at all. But
Yeah.
what was fun was we got to the I got to the hall and I was walking towards like the main entrance. I was a little early. I had the early bird like early access pass though, so I could get in like an hour early.
Mhm.
So I was heading up to the thing and I actually encountered a wild streamer on the loose who was trying to find the convention.
There was quite a
Uh,
few of those at the convention as well.
yeah, IRL streamers. This was like the first year I really saw a lot of them, but it was really
I don't like
interesting.
them. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
if they're just minding their own business and not being obnoxious, I really don't care. It's the really obnoxious ones that bother me.
I don't know.
This guy wasn't bad though. He was literally wandering the parking garage and he stopped me and he was like, "Do you know how to get to the convention?" And I'm like, "You're for Retro World?" And he's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Follow me." So I showed him how to get in, where the ticket booth and everything was, and then he had to get in. He had to get in line, and I had early access, so I walked right in. And I was like, "Bye."
Like,
Um,
hey, bitch.
it wasn't intentional. Just kind of funny how it happened. I was like, "Oh, I get to go and see you." Um,
Yeah.
So the thing that about early access, especially on the Friday, that was really nice was I kind of got to scope out the floor. Because this was the first year that the convention center was actually on the bigger side.
Mhm.
Um, Interestingly, this was the first year since we've been going that it was not double booked.
Yeah, there wasn't a second
Kinda. Well,
convention.
there was another event there. We'll get into that on day two.
Yeah,
But yeah, it wasn't double booked. They actually had the main convention center and everything. So it was much bigger laid out, which was very deceptive on the brain because I was so used to the smaller sec because Retro World was always really good at doing a lot with less.
yeah,
So when they had like the bigger half of the convention center, I was like, wow, they like really stretched it out. But it was fine because there was a ton of walking room this time.
yeah.
Like
It was nice. Like it was definitely comfortable walking around.
like I gotta say, I did not convention shuffle much this year.
Yeah,
Like I was tired after we were done, but I did not feel like shit. Like I didn't have that like ache in my hips like for the rest of the week.
yeah. I'll agree with you on that. No, we had a pretty good amount of steps too, because I recorded on my watch. I think it was like 10,000 steps. Like after the convention, and then a couple more once we like got home too. So it was a pretty good amount.
Hmm. Like to me, like what was really fun was there was obviously some high traffic areas because there was obviously the main stretch right by where the doors were located. That would occasionally get kind of cramped up. So like the benefit was when things were cramped like that, there was always like a path that you could take that was like open, so you wouldn't have to like squeeze through, and you could just come back later and if when it was more clear, which very nice. Um, that being said, though, I kind of scoped around and I bought a decent amount day one, like because I got a lot of those early bird deals when like a lot of the vendors were just kind of opening, so there was a lot of really good stuff. Um, Chatted with a bunch of vendors. We'll get into more of that day two, and then I ended up staying for about 2 hours, and I ended up leaving at around. So it opened at 2. I left at around 6 because I had to get back home because I had to record Geek Addicts that night. So
Responsibility.
yeah, so I ended up getting back and I recorded the next episode of Geek Addicts that should actually be coming out this. Well, it already be long out by the time this comes out, but yeah. So I did that, and then we went the next day. So let's talk about the Saturday now.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So what were your thoughts on the center itself this year?
Like, what do you mean, like the convention center?
Well, just like how things like what were your thoughts like um on how like the thing was going to be set up? Like what were your thoughts on just like how the compared to previous years, I should say.
I don't know. I think there were some things like I definitely like that the convention space was a little bit bigger because I definitely like not having to like squeeze through and stuff and just having more room and like also like just not feeling like someone was over your shoulder constantly. That was definitely nice. Some of the stuff they changed, there was some stuff they changed so that I wasn't a fan of. Like before, like you would always like get your wristband and stuff at the like um
The press
ticketing
box.
booths downstairs. And then you'd go upstairs and you'd get like your badge and all your other stuff and you just get in line and go. This time they had it like so that people had to get their wristbands upstairs. And they still do the multiple check of like you have a badge, a wristband, and you have to get a stamp, which it's a little excessive, but okay. We talked about it the last time with Josh as well, like where it's a little stupid, but
The badges are interesting because I like lanyard badges just because it's really fun to collect them all.
yeah.
They are so pointless at Retro World.
No, yeah, because you have a wristband stamp and a neck. Like, it's like, why do we need all this? But
So the
so one of the
wristband is the one that matters. The stamp is
yeah,
just a daily thing.
yeah.
It's it's so weird.
It's I don't see the point of the stamp though. It's just anyways, but that's something they've done every year, and I always kind of thought it was dumb. The thing I didn't like that they did this year was well, first like Bill had early access, I did not, so I had to sit outside and wait for him because he's a shitty brat. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm taking the Game Boy cartridge back.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but I was sitting around there, but they weren't really giving any direction as to what was going on. And then eventually, once there was no like saying like people saying, "Oh, you should line up here if you want to get in." Like there was nothing like that. And then suddenly, like 5 minutes before, they're like, "Okay, everyone, get in line, get in line, get in line." And they shoved everyone in line, regardless of if they already had their wristband and badge and everything, into one line. So now there's all these people who are waiting who already have their stuff. Well, they're waiting for some people to put their wristbands on. And it was just kind of stupid. And like at one point, I was like, to the guy in front of me, I was like, "Hey, do you have your wristband and badge?" He's like, "Oh no, I have to get it." And I was like, "Do you care if I go in front of you and go in the convention?" He's like, "No, it's fine." It was just really stupid. Like I
The
hope
way
they don't do
they,
that again.
yeah,
It was
the way
very poorly run.
the way the corral was set up was really poor. They should have had the like the little
Well,
ticket
well,
stand.
the thing is like it wasn't even that. They had tables set up where people had to queue through and get their stuff, but they were just letting people get it beforehand. So you have this mob of people who had their stuff and people who didn't have their stuff, and there was no splitting of it. So it didn't make sense. Like
Well,
it was just, and then they had people running around just giving people wristbands, and I'm like, did they even scan their back like the QR code? Like I don't know. Like it was very bad. Like you
the
weren't out there, so you can't say you weren't
no,
sitting out there
I
through
could
it.
see it through the window because I came to try and find you at one point.
Yeah. Like it was just dumb what they were doing. Like that was the only complaint. Like once we all got in, it was fine. But it was just like confusing and stupid how they did it. And it kind of just like not gonna lie, but like when you have like a shitty like start to your day, it's kind of hard to make it better. So I just honestly like I was just in a shit mood the rest of the day because like that was just dumb and annoying and
Yeah,
frustrating.
the way they should have done it was they should have had the table off to the side, like before the doors, like so you get the stuff there. Then you go to the line because they literally put the table right near this tiny little corral,
But
and
they
it
just had it at the booths downstairs. Like I
well
don't know
they
why they didn't do that this year because they had the big queue there. It didn't make sense to me. I don't know.
I think it's because they had the full convention center this year. Just they had the
Yeah,
space.
but like it didn't. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me what they did. But well, no. But the thing is that still doesn't make sense because they still had people there to buy just tickets for the day. Like none of it made sense. I don't know. It was just really dumb, and it's just like I'm sorry, but like when you have a shitty start to your day, it's hard to redeem it after that. And I just honestly was in a bad mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah, the one thing I will always give Retro World like kind of crap for is their planning in like kind of like management is a little sus at times. I won't
Yeah.
lie.
Well, and it gets equally confusing too because then they bring in people who actually work at the convention center itself, which is fine, but like they're all kind of doing their own thing and no one's talking to each other and it's confusing for everyone just trying to attend the event. I also think though it's crazy that like they don't check your ID, they don't check anything like that. Yet you have three forms of ID to get into the actual convention, but like they will give you a wristband willy nilly. Like I feel like you could like steal someone's QR code and like you would take it that you would they would be able to steal it and then you'd go and you'd be shit out of luck because they don't do any double verification that it's actually you, like they do at Kineticon.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Um, well, they do give you the wristband before they give you the lanyard.
No, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that like you scan the QR code and they just give it to you. Like they give all the stuff to you, but they don't check like that it's actually you or anything like any other convention.
Yeah, well, not every convention does that. It's like
Most of them do.
50-50.
Like Anime Boston, I mean, before I had them mailed to me, I always had to you had to show them your ID to verify that it was you. Same at Kineticon. Because anyone could get a QR code and like I don't know. I just think it's silly. It's like ironic that like anyone can grab the QR code, but then you need like four forms of ID just to enter the convention space.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but that's
Dumb.
yeah,
It's just dumb and wasteful. Uh, but that's their choice, not ours.
yeah. that aside, the actual event itself, basically once you get through the door, it's pretty good. Like overall, otherwise.
I mean, like, not to shit on them more, but like, it's not like they do much out on the floor. Like in terms of the vendors and stuff, like that's really all because of the vendors, not really because of the actual con staff. Just saying.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's
No,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
to be fair, the con staff at like most other conventions is generally more annoying than anything.
yeah. I never see them at Retro World, so
Yeah, that's
minus in the
honestly
beginning.
yeah. But yeah, besides that though, the actual event itself was pretty fun. Like it was pretty cool just going from like booth to booth, just seeing the stuff.
Mm.
Um, my yearly challenge, I didn't succeed this year.
Oh, the guy game.
I didn't find a single copy of the Guy game, which I am happy about because thank God.
Did you see any
Um,
eyeless Mario?
I did see the booth that was selling that last year. They didn't have Eyeless Mario this year.
That's
Uh,
funny.
yeah, we went around to a couple different like booths. Alex, we found this one booth because I wanted to apologize to Alex for making her wait outside. That was doing these 3D printed. Um,
Yeah.
well, the entire booth was all like 3D print jobs and stuff.
Mhm.
And you
They
got a
had
couple
some great
things.
stuff. Like they had a Jabba the Hutt Pikachu. They had
This
like
Cookie
the
Monster
whole
alien
Cookie
behemoth,
Monster, like Raptor. I think they had a like really buff Elmo,
Elmo.
and like it was all this like really dumb stuff, but they had some cool stuff too, of course.
Hmm.
Um, and we ended up buying some of the cool stuff
Well,
because I
Alex,
got well, Bill got me one
I got you
too.
the so they made a cartridge like a 3D printed like giant sized Game Boy Color cartridge of Pokemon Green, which is technically a game that doesn't exist officially, an English copy
Yeah.
anyways. But I got her that because it had Venusaur on the front, and Alex loves her Bulbasaurs.
Yes.
And then Alex got
I got the Leaf Green Game Boy Advance cartridge because that was my first Pokemon game that I got really into, so it was nostalgic. But then I also got they had 3D printed Devil Fruits, so I got Luffy's Devil Fruit, and it's actually a like it opens up so you can store stuff in it as well, which
hmm,
was really cool. And I was very paranoid all day that it was going to break, but it came home safe and sound, so we're good.
yeah. I do want to say shout out to those guys, by the way. I do have their business card. I thought I didn't get a copy, but I guess I got one at one point. It's I love pixels. Check them out on Instagram. Like,
Wait, I thought they didn't have.
so I must have got one the day before because I found one when I was going
Oh,
through. Yeah, because by the end of like that con, they were like cleaned out on a ton of stuff.
no, yeah, they sold a lot, which was really good for them. I mean, it was really cool. Well, it was funny because I posted a picture of everything that I bought in the server, and then I think who commented was like, "How much did you spend on those game cartridges?" And I don't think they realized that they were giant 3D prints. So I
That was
didn't.
Matt.
That was Matt. I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want. I didn't know how to answer, so I was just like, "He'll find out on the podcast that they're just 3D printed, not actual games."
Yeah. Another really cool booth that we went to, one that we go to like every year, just because the whole concept of it is cool. I think I have their card. Oh yeah, Canvas Quest. Um,
Yes.
these guys have been cool. Like they've been there for years. Like I've gotten a print from their booth pretty much every year. At least like I've gotten like at least 4 prints from them.
Mm,
What they do is they do these big canvas wall arts that are like video game art or like in-game like scenes.
mhm.
And they also do a thing where they have pins and they put like gaming pins on them and kind of make these little storyboards. So this year Alex actually got one as well.
Yes.
So I had gotten this cool Ace Attorney print, which I have currently in my game room. Alex
Mhm.
got.
I got a Stardew Valley print. And then I got a couple. I got 2 pins, so I could decorate it myself. And I got a Krobus pin because I refuse to allow any Krobus slander. Josh, no slander of my boy Krobus. He lives in the sewer, but he's a great guy. Uh, but what's cool about that booth is that like they make everything, so like they make the canvases, but they also do like all the pins and stuff too. It's not like they're just buying pins; like they go and they actually curate all those pins. Because you'll notice like on all the packaging it says Canvas Quest on all of it, which is pretty cool. So I got Krobus and I got Linus. I'm pretty certain it's Linus. I'm
What's
brain
fun
farting.
what's fun too is though like they have some deep cuts for like their pins and like artwork, because I was just looking through it, like I wasn't even planning on buying a pin, but I was like kind of just looking down and I saw a Clax pin, like
Yeah. Well,
who
you
the
had to go back and get it.
wait, because I'd already bought my canvas and I was like just looking at it while Alex was kind of like debating whether she wanted anything from there, and I saw the Clax pin. I was like, I need it. It's Clax. So I bought the Clax pin.
I was right. It was Linus. I was pretty certain that was his name, but I was kind of having a brain fart moment. But he's the little guy who lives in a tent. I
Mm.
wish he was a marriage option. I would marry the hobo or Krobus. I would marry Krobus if I could, but
What's
unfortunately, I don't have that option unless it's a mod. If anyone can point me to that mod, that would be great.
what's really funny though is like you were kind of like considering it, but you weren't really sure
Mhm.
whether you wanted to get the canvas at all. But then like you were looking at the pins and you saw all the Stardew Valley ones, and you were like,
Well,
oh,
I couldn't find them like at first, and I was like, well, I kind of want it for because it's cool. Like, is that the gimmick of it too? Is that like you buy the canvas, but then you kind of make it your own with your own pins and stuff, where you put the characters on it, and you kind of everyone can make it their own. So I was like, I really want a Krobus pin. And
well,
if they didn't have one, I wasn't gonna get it. But then they had one. I was like, I am sold.
well, what was funny was you found all the Stardew Valley pins, and you were like, "Oh my God, Stardew Valley!" And you had grabbed a couple, and then like I pointed because you didn't notice Krobus at
Well,
first, and
I
I'm like,
grabbed Linus. I grabbed Linus because like I love my hobo husband.
but then I pointed to Krobus, and you went, "Oh!"
Yes, I
And
love
like
my boy Krobus.
that was one of two Krobus pins you found.
Yes, I did find another Krobus pin. This one was just like an enamel, like a normal enamel pin. But it was really cute Krobus art because I saw a bunch of Stardew Valley and then I saw Krobus and it's like him. He's got his hands together like this. And he's happy and it's nice too because it has a little void egg because you can buy the void eggs from him and it has a bunch of Junimos on it too. So it was super cute. I love Krobus. He's my best boy.
Yeah. You also bought those cool earrings too.
Yeah, I got these cool Animal Crossing earrings. I've got one that was the fossils from Animal Crossing and then the bell bags from Animal Crossing. I've worn the fossil ones twice already, and then I gotta find an outfit for the bell ones because they're also equally cute. But they were just like cute, fun. You know, I like stuff like that where it's just like a fun pop of color, but also like if you know, you know. Like it's like, oh, I know what that's from. You know, I like stuff like that.
Yeah. Now there was some really fun design, like the thing about Retro World is it's mostly retro games, but they do have a little like kind of artist like craft area.
They
Off
had quite a few more artists this time, but
hmm,
not the one who's always there
of the horny artist.
with the very horny art that never sells. I've never seen anyone buy anything from it. He was not there this time, and I was not gonna lie, I was kind of happy it was there.
Yeah. I did buy they had a this one artist had some kind of like more obscure art, and they had a nice like they had some Ace Attorney art, and they had like a Maya Fey
Yep,
painting.
and
And
Bill can't resist.
I love my girl Maya. She's the best character in the game. Um I don't know if that's a controversial opinion or not. I don't really care. Um yeah, no, that was cool. Um It was a big variety. A lot of what's crazy about a lot of the booths is it's just piles of gaming randomness.
Yeah, quite a lot of Jaguars we saw.
Yeah, we saw like
There
three
was a
Jaguars.
lot of Jaguars, and there was a Jaguar plus CD
The
combo as well.
$2,200 Jaguar CD.
Yeah,
You know what was crazy about that? It was a sealed Jaguar CD, like never been opened. Um, and the best part about that is like Jaguar CDs like have like a 50-50 chance they're even gonna fucking work. So you're
Yeah,
basically paying $2,200 on a chance that this thing will even fucking work.
yeah, that's crazy.
Uh, but
Do you
that
have
one was.
CD?
I know I don't have a Jag.
No, okay.
I have a Jaguar. I don't have a Jaguar CD. There's really no. There's not enough games on the Jaguar CD for me to
Yeah,
even get one just out of like
justify.
curiosity.
Yeah. Well, you
Because
can always buy a broken one just to have it look like a toilet.
even those are expensive though.
True. I mean,
Um,
it's a work of art, so I get it.
yeah, we saw a few Jaguars. There was a lot of 3DO games too this year. Like last year, 3DO games were kind of scarce. This year, there
Hmm.
was actually a surprisingly good amount of them. We saw
You
one
buy
physical.
any?
I did. I bought all my 3DO games on the Friday.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, I don't remember you buying any.
Well, I bought the ones I bought were particularly mostly I for the show. I
Yep.
found Return Fire: The Maps of Death, which is the expansion pack for Return Fire, a game that me and Thrak have already covered on the show.
Mhm.
Um, I also found that uh, Deldis encounter. It's like this really goofy full motion video game that's most famous for having Tia Carrere in it.
Mhm.
I think some people say her best role. And we'll cover that eventually.
Oh
And then
no.
the one that I really wanted to find, I saw that was like really cool was I found the Japanese Sailor Moon fighting game for 3DO.
Yeah.
I saw that and I'm like, this is how we get Alex on the show.
Yes. I mean, you could have had me on the show for balls, but you chose not to because I am the best at that game, as
Yeah.
we found out. So I was pretty disappointed, but whatever.
I also found a copy of Wing Commander 3. I only had the PlayStation version of Wing Commander 3, but it was cool finding the 3DO version. There were some other 3DO games, but I was kind of like I wanted to spread my money out because a lot of them were games I already had, but it was just like finding like physical. Well, it was either games I already had or games I played in other ways. Um, yeah. Other than that, though, day one, no, not a lot of other purchases. I bought a Famicom controller, which is the Japanese Super Nintendo controller with like the rainbow
Mhm.
buttons. It was cool.
Nice.
Found a copy of the original Road Rash on a Genesis. I found the Thomas Was Alone soundtrack, which is a really cool indie game that I'm a big fan of, but the music is really cool.
Mhm.
Um, I found Railroad Tycoon 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. I didn't even know that was a thing, so I had to buy it. Um, and then I bought a ton of Vita games.
Yeah, there was a lot of Vita games out there, so I'm not surprised.
There was, and I got a
You
few
didn't
here
buy
and there.
that furry game though, and I was pretty disappointed in
Uh,
you.
uh,
Just
I
saying.
wasn't gonna pay $100 for that. I'm sorry. Um, but I bought Dungeon Travelers 2, which is an RPG. It's got anime characters on the cover, so like most Vita games.
Mhm.
Um, because it was cheap, I bought one of those like shitty Code Realize games because I thought it was funny. Um, Probably not gonna ever play it, but it's funny to have. Um, and I bought a game called Punchline, which I only bought it initially because it's by the guy who did the Zero Escape series. But then I like looked into it and I started I booted it up just to see. It is so fucking horny. It's not even funny.
Oh God.
I was like, oh, I'm like, it is one of those games.
Oh no. Sorry.
Um, and then the only other Vita game I found was Trillion, which is another anime RPG kind of game.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Other than that, though, not a ton of Vita games. We saw some hilarious ones though, because there was a shit ton of them just there,
Yeah.
and
And some of them were ridiculous. Like,
oh, there's so many horny games on the Vita.
oh yeah. It's just funny, like the amount of games too that didn't come out over here versus there as well. Like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Um. So other than that, I forget. Did you buy any other things?
Yeah, I bought so one of the most expensive things I ended up, well, I'll say the
Well,
other things first. So I bought two I actually bought from this booth last year. It was called Console Yourself with Soap. Uh
oh,
and they
yeah.
did like handcrafted like video game themed soap. So I got these ones that were fossils from Animal Crossing, and then inside there was like a little figurine in the fossil after you used it a bunch. But this year I ended up getting two candles. I got a Star Drop candle from Stardew Valley, which smelled really nice. It was like an organic soy candle. And then I got another one, partially because of the name, but mostly because it actually smelled really good. A swamp juice candle. For tough ogre smells, organic soy wax candle. Swamp juice smells like cucumber. It smells really good, so I just like really wanted the candle just to have, and that was good. But the last thing that I bought was I actually bought a game I can't play. Um, but I will once I buy a Japanese 3DS. But I bought Haikyuu. Let me actually. I was pulling the name up. Haikyuu Connect: The View from the Top. Uh, it's a Haikyuu game, so obviously there's some volleyball involved. It's a bit of a simulation game, but it also has a Haikyuu quest in it. Uh, which is like an RPG with the Haikyuu characters as well. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be really fun to play once
the
I have a Japanese 3DS.
the
And it
best
came with
part,
like this cool tin
yeah.
and like a bunch of cool artwork and stuff, and like a soundtrack, I think too. So it was
So
pretty neat.
the best part about that was so that the booth where Alex bought that was actually some friends of ours, Chris and Z over at Rewind Arcade. They were there last year as well. That's when we met them. But
Yeah.
they're like super nice. Like Chris has like a whole YouTube channel. He does a whole bunch of like video game like retrospectives and stuff.
Mhm.
But their whole thing is like they sell a ton of import games,
Yeah.
and like they're these like pristine like boxed copies of all sorts of games.
Oh my god, yeah.
And what was funny was like Alex was tapped out by that point, but we had gone over to like chat with them for a little bit and just say hi. And she saw the Haikyuu game, and she was like, "Is that a Haikyuu game?" She's like, "Can I play that?" I'm like, "Nah." And she was kind of hesitant on it, but then they were like, "Look at the tin," and Alex was like, "I need it.
I need
I
it. I
need,
need it
I
right
need,
now.
I need the tin."
So
Um,
I did buy it. I
yeah,
did buy
I,
it.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's cool when they do stuff like that. It's like makes it like a collector's item. So, and I love Haikyuu. So, like, I'll play it once I have a Japanese DS, but I just gotta get one. So, Bill's gonna track one down for me. Thanks, Bill.
I did, I did some looking, but I gotta wait till give me the okay when you're financially stable, and I'll send you some links. um,
Thanks.
but I bought a few things from them as well. I found this really cool like Full Metal Alchemist GBA game that's like this RPG. I've never seen it before, so I'm looking forward to messing around with that. I found this Rurouni Kenshin like PS1 fighting game, and then the one that I was really look I really liked was they had a Famicom like original Famicom cartridge like boxed everything for Dragon Quest 4, which is like my favorite Dragon Quest ever. And I have Dragon Warrior for the American version, but I'm not going to pay the $300 for that box. So when I saw they had the Japanese version, which has the Toriyama art, it's just superior anyways. I said I want that version, and it is now a nice display piece in my collection.
Nice.
Um, yeah. Other than that, though, like mostly like I bought little things. Like I bought
Beans? Did you buy
I,
any beans?
I bought a Game Gear copy of Super Columns from this one booth.
That doesn't sound like beans to
That
me. Where were the
that's
beans, Bill?
that's nice.
Did you buy the beans? Wait, you did buy beans!
Oh yeah, I bought chili.
You did! Because every time we go to there, Bill ends up buying chili. Why? I don't know. Everyone
Because
shame.
I never want
Shame.
something super heavy.
Shame. So you buy something that gives you the toots. Beans.
It's
Bill
fine.
was farting up a storm.
It wasn't the
Everywhere we
worst.
went.
It wasn't the worst smell in that convention center. I'll tell you that.
Oh my god, yeah. There was some oh, BO. Like
Deodorant.
the,
Unfortunately, Deodorant Man wasn't there this year.
but you know who was there?
Who?
Maraca Man, Banana
Oh yeah,
Maraca Man,
We
and we
saw
saw
him
his
out.
face. We
We saw
saw
him
his
out of
face
the because
out of banana.
he was staying at the hotel and he walked out like with his bags and everything, and we saw his face.
Yep.
Oh man, that was funny. But for those who don't know, it's a guy. He goes to like all the conventions in Connecticut, I swear. But
Yeah.
he just walks around dressed as like a banana,
With maracas,
with
playing
maracas,
music
playing
and
music,
sunglasses.
shaking them, and that's just his thing. He just walks around the convention center doing this.
Yeah.
And then the second day, he had a second outfit that was like a pirate outfit.
Yeah. If that was
I'm,
him, it could have
yeah,
been a secondary banana man. But we did see him without his banana mask on. And I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like the illusion is now ruined. Now that I know it is just a guy. It's just a normal guy. Who are you, Banana Man? Can we find him and can we interview him?
that would be funny.
Banana Man, I'd like to interview you on the podcast. It
Um,
turns out it's like it's secretly Matt. Matt's like, it was me all along. No, we're
I
threats.
think I know that. Yeah, that would be a reveal. Um,
It's
yeah,
someone we know. That's what I hope.
what we also got deafened by the goddamn fucking
Oh
PA
yeah.
system. Oh my god. The one thing that never changes at Retro World is they have the way the PA set up, it is so fucking loud. And like the guy behind the thing who's like doing the announcements, he is so fucking hyper and gung ho that he's like screaming through this thing, and legit the entire room goes silent as he's like yelling. And then right
Well,
after everyone's
the
like,
one thing that I was just everyone was just like ah, like holding their heads in
well, what I
pain.
mean by it goes silent is like legit everyone just freezes. And they're all everyone's like grabbing their ears and they're all just like, what the fuck?
Mm.
What's funny is he got on the announcements later and he was a lot more subdued, so I think he got yelled at.
I mean, like it was to the point of like, oh my god, like when I first heard it, it did give me a legitimate headache, and it was a little too much. Like he did
Yeah,
need to tone it down.
yeah. um, the arcade setup was back too, which is always cool.
Yeah, no, they always have a really nice setup, really fun. Not enough Jaguar though. Definitely
Yeah,
not enough Jaguar.
the Jaguar wasn't. There's always that one Jaguar that's just there, and it wasn't there this year, which was kind of sad.
It was.
We did mess around with some of the arcade machines though. I played a little bit of Tempest until I died, and I played some Daytona USA, and but the steering wheel on it was kind of jank, and it would like kind of hang to the right at times, so it didn't really work.
Yep.
Um, that was fun. Unfortunately, our buddy Snickerman couldn't make it this year. He had he had an emergency situation that happened. I'm not going to
Yeah.
divulge, but
No, yeah.
unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But hopefully, sometime
But we're
we'll get to
glad
meet him.
okay.
Yeah, we're glad everything was fine. Um, they did have the Bomberman setup though, and I was like, we could have had the competition again.
Could have brought it back.
No, no '90s trap remix theme
I
songs
was
this year
very
though.
happy about that, I'm not gonna lie. It was a bit of a lot last time. And
It
that
was,
also gave me a headache. So
yeah,
I'm glad that wasn't there in all honesty.
yeah. Um, did you have any awkward overhear any awkward conversations this year?
No, not really. I don't know
I
about
did.
you, but I don't know. I didn't hear that many.
I on Friday I got one that I was like, oh lord. Um,
What did they say?
so unfortunately, nothing against the guy. He didn't bother me in the slightest, but it was just one of those things where I was a little bit too close and I overheard his conversation.
Hmm.
So he was standing over by where the 3DO games were at this one booth, and he was a very gay man. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly
Yeah.
fine. But he was having a conversation with his significant other, and it was a very heated conversation. And when I say heated, not in the bad way.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't need to hear this. Like, oh my god, buddy.
Like, whoa.
Like he was sharing a lot. So I kind of like got the game I was interested in and got out of there because I was like, oh man, like I don't need to hear this. Like nothing against it, but I was just like, wow, some people have no shame.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a funny one. Other than that, it was a lot of a lot of new collectors. Like I love over listening to some of like the collecting chit chat. Like
Mm.
some people have some very interesting things. They interesting takes on collecting as a hobby.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. I guess did you see anything that was like crazy the price of that like shocked you how expensive it was or anything or like how unexpensive it was? Did you see anything like that?
Um, Not so much unexpensive. Honestly, like I'm kind of used to it.
Inexpensive, that's the right word.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of used to the prices at this point. I will say those anime figures were fucking overpriced.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them definitely were, especially for some of the conditions that some of
Yeah,
them were in. Like, yeah.
there was like one booth that was primarily just an anime figure booth.
I didn't buy anything. I was
I
tempted,
know.
but I didn't buy anything. I
There
resisted.
was there was two Yukiko figures and I passed because fuck that was expensive. Like it was like just like I was like I'd be better off just looking on Amazon, eBay.
Yeah.
Um Other than that though, games wise, nothing absurd. I mean I saw some games that I already own that I looked at the price and went, "Whoo!"
Good thing
Like
I didn't pay for that.
well, I was like, thank God I've started collecting years ago because oh my God, this hobby kind of sucks now.
Yeah. No, I didn't see anything with graded on them either.
Yeah,
I feel like that passed.
the grading fad is starting to die out, mostly just because
I
like
didn't
people
see
are.
anything that
I
was
saw a
graded.
few, but it was mostly they were in cases and they were kind of. There wasn't a ton of them this year.
Yeah. I didn't see any, so
They
clearly
were
there
kind of
wasn't that much.
they
I
were
just remember
mixed.
that there was that one year where it was like everywhere and we were like, "Whoa, like
Yeah,
what is this?"
yeah. I remember I explained it to you, and you were like, "That's dumb," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yep.
The video game museum was back with the don't do not touch signs.
Nah. Yeah, and we made sure to not touch this time.
the
Though it
way
was
they
tempting.
the way they laid it out was better this year. Like instead of like it being kind of like this awkward, like shoved in between two booths, they instead made it kind of like a walkthrough, like
Yeah,
walkway, which
which
was
was
cool.
definitely smarter. Well,
I
also
s-
just in terms of flowing through, people going in and out, it just made so much more sense
yeah,
than like a dead end where you're like, okay, shuffle back. Excuse
yeah,
me,
because
get out of my way.
I still it's so cool looking at those old consoles and being like, holy crap, like they are so much bigger in person.
Oh yeah, I was showing one of the guys at work some of the consoles that I saw there, and he was like, "Oh my god, I had the ColecoVision when I was a kid." So he was like, "I can't believe someone still has one." He was thought it was so cool.
No, it is cool seeing them up close. There was also the giant Mario skeleton.
Yes, with the dump truck. Just kidding. It did not have a dump truck since
Alex
it
took a
was
picture. Alex took a picture of its ass because she had
yes.
to.
Well, I wanted to. I mean, he was wearing a Mario costume and he looked great in it. So Bill didn't want to put it in the thumbnail, which I was disappointed. But he put a picture of the skeleton at least, but just not his butt.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that was great marketing because I always saw people at his booth. So I think he
Well,
probably
no,
did good.
the guy who was running that booth
Yes.
was really nice because he was selling games. And if you bought a game, he would give you like a handmade like keychain that was like these little knit things. It was kind of
Aw,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah, so I had one. I got like a flash one. So um
Nice.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Other than that, like not a lot on day two. Like we were pretty tired after that, and we head back. And then I don't know what happened. Like we must have just not. It must have just been a weather thing. But day three, we were fucking exhausted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just like we both like I had a rough week at work that like it was a rough day and I won't lie, like I got an email that day like from work and it kind of just ruined sometimes you just get one and it didn't ruin my day, but it feels like it because then you're anxious about it for the rest of the whole weekend. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was having a rough week, but everything's better now. But yeah, I think we were both tired. Well, we ordered Chinese food the night the on Saturday, and then we ate a bunch of Chinese food. And I think we just were like just
Ironically,
dying.
the Chinese food agreed with us more than the Raising Canes.
Yeah, Raising Cane. We did eat that on Friday and
Well,
that
Sunday.
on Sunday, and I don't even know what day it is anymore. On Sunday, and I gotta say, not as good as when I had it in Texas. Definitely not as good. Like I would not like. I'm glad I did not wait in a car for like multiple hours for that because that would have been dumb.
It betrayed us.
It did.
uh, but yeah, Sunday mostly chill. We went on Sunday and we came in later because we weren't like super in the desire for anything. I did buy some pins because there was a booth that had a bunch of really cool pins. I got Alex a uh, Morbid Luma,
Yes, the Luma
the Mario
from the
movie.
Mario movie where it's like death is inevitable. Bring it to me or something like that, and it was wonderful. It brought me
Yeah,
joy.
I brought that pin for her, and then I got this Inuyasha pin that says that it's like the Sit Boy thing. Um, and then I got these three Sega pins, which were the Saturn, the Dreamcast, and the Genesis, I want to say, and they were just like these cool little. It's like the console and the controller little things.
And I was at one of my favorite booths because it just plays the Wii Shop music on repeat the
And the
whole
guy who
time.
runs it dresses up like Buggy the Clown every year.
Well, he dresses up every year. I think it was cool. He was Goku last year, but he does some like not full cosplay, but just like a kind of silly cosplay. He does it every year, which makes the experience even more enjoyable.
Yeah, he
I
was
think it
super
was like
nice.
Blueberry Cat. That's what they call it. Blueberry Cat. They had some cool figures in there
Yep,
too, but
Blueberry Cat.
yep. They had some cool figures, but like they had one of from Kaiju number 8, and I was like, ooh. I was tempted to get it, but it was one of those ones you actually had to build yourself, and I was like, don't feel like doing that, so I passed on it.
Yeah. Um, the only other booth that I saw, we didn't buy anything just because they money wise it wasn't really worth it at the time. But there was this cool like booth. There was like a record booth where they do like video game like
Oh
remix soundtracks, and they had it's cool because they actually had records with like liquid in them, which is like
yeah,
crazy
yeah. Well,
stuff.
they had like a lot of like cool designs and cool artwork. I couldn't justify unless it was like if he did like a Stardew Valley one. Oh yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah,
Or like an Animal Crossing one. Heck yeah! But all of them were ones that I was like I wasn't like sold on them or anything, so I couldn't justify. And I don't have a record player, which also helps me not justify buying it because I wouldn't be able to play it. But I still bought a DS game I can't play.
yeah. But that at least is a nice display piece, and you can look at the tin and stuff.
No, yeah, and I will get eventually a 3DS game, so 3DS Japanese 3DS, so I can play it. Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
But
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
other than
yes,
that though,
yes, 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 yes. Don't do it. Don't you mute me. I saw you about to do it. Yes, 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 yes.
she deserved that. But yeah, so it was a good convention again. I just wish it didn't happen at such a stressful time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with Kineticon being like literally the month before, it's a lot of money in one spot. I definitely think I'll probably pass on, well, because I did 3 conventions this year. I'll probably stick to maybe just 2 next year, but I'd like to try something new. Like, we're both thinking about doing too many games, which realistically, I looked at even driving to it. Like, I wouldn't mind driving because then, like, I don't know, we can talk about it, but it's one I definitely like to
Yeah,
look into.
that one's one we have to plan. Um,
Yeah, but I
I'm
think that
bit,
would be fun.
I'm planning that one, and then I'm debating Anime Boston next
I
year.
think you should give Anime Boston another chance. I probably won't cosplay again at that one unless like we were to stay down there. But if we take the train in again and then just pre-order the badges,
Yeah.
it'll exponentially make the experience much better.
Well, then it's not. They're not fucking stuck in like 2020 when it was like 4 years after. But that's besides the
Yeah.
point. Um, yeah, It's also far enough away from like Retro World that it won't be a huge deal for me.
Oh yeah. No, it shouldn't be an issue.
But yeah, other than that though, good weekend. Stressful weekend, but wasn't really the convention's fault. It was more just life.
No, more just yeah. Honestly, it was just kind of life for both of us, where we were both just a little stressed. So hopefully next year we'll go in with not as much stress and not as much, and maybe do three if they're spread out more. But
Yeah.
plan for it a bit. But also like
Yeah.
there's stuff like now to plan for those town bills each year that you're gonna have to pay. So
Yeah. Well, it
it'll
wasn't
be
even that
easier.
too. It was just there was so many things these past 2 months. It's just
Oh
been a
yeah.
mess. But that's besides the point. But I think I think I'm good on conventions for the year. Um, I kind of need a break, money
No, yeah, I
wise.
agree. And it's also too like at some point it does get like sensory overload. Like you're like, oh my god, this is a lot that's happening right now. I kind of need to, you know, break.
Yeah, I gotta sit down, relax, and actually consume some of the media I own. So,
No, that too.
because I've been actually reading the Dragon Ball Super manga, and it is so good.
Now I need to start getting into that. I gotta finish catching up with Kaiju number 8, and then because I really enjoyed that show. I'm very much looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, no, understandable. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all to say. Yeah, another year of Retro World. It's kind of hard to come up with new stories because it was a
It's
very
pretty chill.
it was chill year, chill convention. Like nothing crazy happened this year.
Hmm.
But that's not a bad thing. It was
No, yeah,
relaxing. I didn't feel claustrophobic at any points at the con, which was nice.
that was definitely
The
sorry.
other
Oh
the
my
one other
goodness,
thing I
sorry.
the one other thing I will say about Retro World that I really appreciate is people there are generally very nice.
Yes.
Like you don't get a lot of rude people. Like if
No,
someone
yeah.
bumps into you, they generally apologize. Like even if it was your fault. Like and it's just a generally cordial thing because everyone there it's a very the kind of group that would attend a convention like that is generally pretty understanding. So
Yeah.
that's all I'll say. Um, but yeah, so once again, guys, thanks for joining us on the Gaming Collecting Podcast. The Gaming Collecting Podcast
Woo-hoo!
can be found on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That is the superpodnetwork.com. It's an awesome group of podcasters. We got a bunch of videos, blogs, a whole bunch of fun stuff over there with shows like Superpod Saga, Super Ghost Radio, Retro Rehab, a novel console, Fine Time, Gaming Together, Friday Night Gamecast, Remember 64, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, The Elder Trolls, Bar Silence, Fine Time, and the GNC shows. I think I got everybody. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you
Wait,
for joining.
wait. I have something to say.
Okay.
Rick, the N64 deserves all the hate it gets. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's awful. Bleh. Bleh. I just saw that in the server.
See,
You're gonna hear
Rick,
this like a month later, but it's fine.
see, Rick knows you at this point, so he's just gonna realize this is just you
No,
being yourself.
no, I'm being very truthful. Well, no, I would never lie about hating the N64. It's a trash console. I mean, just look at it. Who wants to hold that controller? And even when I played it with a new controller, it wasn't that great.
Oh,
It
shut
was
it! We haven't even saved that for when we do the episode.
it
We
was
still got more
slightly
games to
better.
play.
All right, well, you plan that, and you plan the defense force that's not going to be able to defend anything because the console still sucks.
I'm buying you the Bumble soundtrack for your birthday.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. No one wants that. Bump is
But
bump bump the buck bumble. See, now it's gonna be in my freaking head for the rest of the day. Ugh.
good, it'll keep you awake. But anyways, guys, once again, we'll see you all later.
No. If Buck Bumble's involved, I want nothing to do with that.
But did a Buck Bumble?
No.
Yes.
No. No.
Alex secretly
No.
loves the N64.
No.